Hello everyone, this is Marat, and I'm here back with another personal vlog episode. Number 8, the infinity symbol. Today I'm going to be going over lessons that I've learned from 10 years of being a veterinary technician, which is an animal nurse, and I've learned a lot of valuable lessons. So I'm trying to condense it down for you and give you the more fundamental and deeper spiritual lessons. So again, they're very applicable, not all spiritual, but I think these deeper lessons are very valuable, and I hope you can take something away from this. First thing I've learned is how to get along with people better. Realizing my defensiveness and neediness were holding me back so much. Every time something would happen where there was a disagreement, I would become defensive, or I made a mistake in someone's eyes and I didn't think it was a mistake. I would defend myself and try to explain myself. In the neediness aspect, I would constantly want or seek approval from the higher up, so the doctors or the lead nurses. I felt like I needed them to approve of my positives, and this is from a lack of feeling confident within myself. I didn't know this, but I realized it over time. It took a long time. Another thing is that has helped me learn to get along with people much better is having compassion and not judging my coworkers, not judging the managers, having compassion for the owners and the pets. Just having compassion throughout, focusing on love and my attitude, my positive benefit that I want to make on everyone around me, which is a very difficult thing if you're in an environment where everybody is judgy. And again, this is a judgment. I'm making this judgment. Now, obviously everybody's not judgy, but it happens a lot. 90% of the time, there's judgment, and you want to get sucked into that because it's fun. It's like toxic fun. It's like Coca-Cola. But it doesn't do any good. It doesn't help. So cut that out. I have to cut that out as much as possible to learn how to get along with people better. Lastly, in learning how to get along with people, I've learned that joking around and having fun has been really, really beneficial. Learning how to, you take your job seriously, but you can't enjoy yourself. You can enjoy yourself and be serious at the same time. These two ideas are not contradicting one another. You can enjoy yourself, but be fully focused and fully engaged. So have fun, play around, don't take every single thing too seriously. Also doing my part, not comparing myself to others, my strengths, my weaknesses. That's very difficult for me. I try really hard, but the more I do this, the better I end up feeling, and the more I end up getting, the better I end up getting along with people. Number 2, I've learned how to deal with loss and death, euthanasia, much, much more. How do I say this? I've learned how to not just deal with loss and death, but how to let it improve me, how to let it grow me as a human being. Dealing with the pain, dealing with the regret. If you had to decide to euthanize your pet, and you start regretting, did I not do certain things I should have done? Was it my fault that he passed away? Was it the right time to make the call? All these things, dealing with the heavy emotions that you see all the time whenever there is a euthanasia in progress. Learning to let go and learn to love. Realize that life is fleeting. Life is so special because it is fleeting. And you learn to love more because of that. You grow through the experience of going through it. And I've learned how to create something beautiful out of the experience. So writing a song, for me, my creation comes through music. And I wrote a song about a passing away of a cat, and it kind of, writing it was beautiful. I cried a lot, and that in itself was a cathartic and healing. I don't know if cathartic's the right word, but it was a very healing process. And then finding beauty in that sadness. Although those two things, sadness and beauty, seem to not really work together. They actually, if we approach sadness and crying and just aloneness, all these emotions that seem to be so negative, in a non-judgmental way, we notice that sadness has its own beauty, that it is a healing, crying is very healing, and it allows us to let go and learn to actually be happy as well. So it's like that yin and yang, they kind of balance each other out. Another thing that I've learned is communication is just way more than just words. So animals communicate with their body more. They communicate with their eyes, the way they look at you, their facial expressions, their lips, their ears move, their tail, depending on the way they feel, their body will symbolize it. Their body posture will change. They will curl up when they're afraid, they'll perk up when they're happy, and we do the same things, but we've lost touch with that, and learning animal behavior has been very beneficial in learning how to treat these animals better when they come to the hospital. And communication goes deeper than just the animals, right? You're communicating with your coworkers, you're communicating with the owners as well. So there's those three modes of communication. So having compassion and respect when you approach the animals, having compassion and respect when you approach the owners, when you talk to them, when you explain things to them, going above and beyond and communicating to them how to help their pets, and not just judging them and resenting them for things that they've done wrong with their pets, but actually having empathy. Being friendly. Number 4 is learning to let go of being right or wrong. But also not causing harm. If the situation is wrong enough where you might cause harm to the animal, or someone else is causing harm to the animal, of course, in that situation, you don't want to let go of that. You want to gently let it be known that you think that this animal is too stressed, and maybe a different approach is better. I don't have to always be right anymore. I used to always feel like I wanted to be right. I don't always have to show others what I'm capable of. I don't always have to step in when someone's doing a nail trim and it's not up to par with my standards of nail trims, Everybody's at their own level, and it's important to understand this, important to respect people, and let them learn at their own pace, and not judge yourself when someone is like doing something way better than you can do it, but instead be amazed, learn from them. Like I already spoke about stopping when an animal is too stressed, not letting your ego get in the way. You don't want to be like poking an animal with a needle to draw blood like multiple times just because you know you can do it and you're frustrated that you can't hit this vein, and it makes you feel like inferior around your other nurses. This is not the right approach. So just learning to stop when you feel like you're stressing the animal out or you're causing harm, and you just approach these poor little creatures with the way you would approach your own pet. You know, you wouldn't poke your pet 13 times. Lastly, I've learned a lot from my failures. I've learned when an animal gets injured or dies in surgery, it has forced me to grow, especially, you know, situations where it was my fault and I was responsible for this pet. I was responsible for its life, and I didn't do my job right. And maybe it wasn't all my fault, but you know, I took that responsibility and made sure that I would grow from that, I would learn from that, and I would become 100, 1,000 times better, 1,000,000 times better, and make sure that that does not happen again. When you get fired or not hired because you overstepped your boundaries, or you did not have the skills, all these experiences I've gone through have taught me so much. So just learning how to stay in my position, my lane, not overstep, not try to prove to others that what I'm capable of, not try to, you know, do things that are outside of my position. It's important to stay in your position, and of course you go above and beyond, but you don't overstep. You don't like take on a managerial role where you're trying to train people. Like I've tried to do that in the past, where I felt like I knew something so well that I could just train someone. And maybe it's true. Maybe it's true. Maybe you are good enough where you can train someone, but that's not your position. You're not being paid for that. And that means you're overstepping. You're taking someone else's job. Basically, you're kind of, in a way, trying to like jump the gun, you know. You haven't proved that that is your capabilities. You haven't been hired for that position, and then you're doing that job. You're taking it away from the person who is hired for it, and that doesn't make you look good. So huge learning lesson for me there in the past. When you get bitten or scratched, so I've learned from getting bitten or scratched how to improve my approaches, how to improve my handling skills, how I restrain animals, how I read animals to know when I need muzzle, when I need to back off, when I need to ask the doctor for help or someone else for help. Mistakes, giving wrong medications or accidentally hurting a patient by clipping, you know, you're clipping between their nails and you accidentally nick them or something, or like you're clipping near their butt and you like nick their butt, and it's like, oh, poor baby. You feel bad, and you learn from those little situations as well. So just learning from failures has been huge, and I feel like a very fundamental lesson that you can transfer to all aspects of life. So lastly, I'll just add a few more points. But before that, I'll just go through the 5 one more time. I've learned to get along with people better. I've learned how to deal with less loss and death a lot better. I've learned how to communicate better. And I've learned how to let go of right and wrong and do what's best in that situation. And I've learned from my many, many failures. which I've turned into successes because of that. Last few points I'll make is kill people with kindness. Do your thing and don't let attitude from others bring you down. Don't let it ruin your day. If you need to take a deep breath and step away because something's just overwhelming and you can't handle it, you're not Zen Buddha, you know. I'm not either, obviously. Just step away, take a deep breath, and return. If you're rude, apologize for being rude, and show some love and care and compassion. Thank people for their help. When they are helping you, you know, someone helps you out of a difficult situation, thank them. That's it. I appreciate you guys tuning in, and I'll continue doing these vlogs for you and for myself. Much love. Keep on living and loving and leveling up. Oh, I need a nice back stretch. Peace, party people.